Namo fundamental teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo fundamental teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo fundamental teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. My name is Lily Tran. Today's story we're reading is The Life of Sariputta, compiled and translated from the Pali text by Nayana Panika Thera. Part 3, The Further Shore, Kunda Sutta. Once the Blessed One was dwelling at Savatthi in Anatta Pindika's park. At that time, the Venerable Sariputta was at Nalaka village in the Magadha country and was sick, suffering gravely ill. The novice Kunda was his attendant. And the Venerable Sariputta passed away finally through that very illness. Then the novice Kunda took the alms bowl and robes of the Venerable Sariputta and went to the Savatthi, to the Jeta Grove, Anathapindika's park. There he betook himself to the Venerable Ananda and, having saluted him, seated himself at one side. Thus seated, he spoke to the Venerable Ananda, saying, Venerable Sir, the Venerable Sariputta has had his final passing away. These are his bowl and robes. On this matter, Kunda, we ought to see the Blessed One. Let us go, friend Kunda, and meet the Master. Having met him, we shall acquaint the Blessed One with that fact. Yes, Venerable Sir, said the novice Kunda. They went to see the Blessed One, and having arrived there and saluted the Master, they seated themselves on one side. Then the Venerable Ananda addressed the Blessed One. O Lord, the novice Kunda has told me this. The Venerable Sariputta has had his final passing away. These are his bowl and robes. Then, O Lord, my own body became weak as a creeper. Everything around became dim, and things were no longer clear to me. When I heard about the final passing away of the Venerable Sariputta. How is this, Ananda? When Sariputta had his final passing away, did he take from you your portion of virtue? Or your portion of concentration? Or your portion of knowledge and vision of deliverance? Not so, Lord. When the Venerable Sariputta had his final passing away, he did not take my portion of virtue, concentration, wisdom, deliverance, or my portion of the knowledge and vision of deliverance. But, O Lord, the Venerable Sariputta has been to me a mentor, teacher, and instructor, one who rouses, inspires, and gladdens, untiring in preaching Dhamma, a helper of his fellow monks. And we remember how vitalizing, enjoyable, and helpful his Dhamma instruction was. Have I not taught you aforetime, Ananda, that it is the nature of all near and dear to us that we must suffer separation from them and be severed from them? Oh, of that which is born, come to being, put together, and so is subject to dissolution. How should it be said that it should not depart? That indeed is not possible. It is, Ananda, as though from a mighty hardwood tree a large branch should break off, so has Sariputta now had his final passing away. From this great and sound community of bhikkhus, indeed, Ananda, of that which is born, come to being, put together, and so is subject to dissolution. How should it be said that it should not be depart? This, indeed, is not possible. Therefore, Ananda be an island unto yourself, a refuge unto yourself, seeking no external refuge. With the teaching as your island, the teaching your refuge, seeking no other refuge. The commentary takes up the narrative thus. The master stretched forth his hand, and taking the future with the relics, placed it on his palm and said to the monks, "These, O monks, are the shell-colored relics of the bhikkhu not long ago. As for permission to have his final passing away, he who fulfilled the perfections of an incalculable eon and 100,000 kalpas, this was that bhikkhu. He who obtained the seat next to that, this was the bhikkhu. He who, apart from me, had none to equal him in wisdom throughout the whole 10,000-fold universe. This was that bhikkhu. Of great wisdom was this bhikkhu, of broad wisdom, bright wisdom, quick wisdom, of penetrated wisdom was this bhikkhu. Few once had this bhikkhu who was contented, bent on seclusion, not fond of company, full of energy, an exhorter of his fellow monks, censuring that he is what is evil. He who went forth into homelessness, abandoning the great fortune obtained through his merits in 500 existences. This was patient like the earth. This was the bhikkhu, harmless like a bull whose horns has been cut. This was that bhikkhu, of humble mind like a Kandala boy. This was the bhikkhu. See here, O monks, the relics of him who was of great wisdom, of broad, bright, quick, keen, and penetrative wisdom, who had few wants and was contented, bent on seclusion, not fond of company, energetic. See here the relics of him, who was an exhorter of his fellow monks, who censured evil. Then the Buddha spoke the following verses in praise of his great disciple. To him who had 5 times 100 lives went forth to homelessness, casting away pleasures the heart holds dear, from passion free, with faculties controlled, now homage pay to Sariputta who has passed away. To him who, strong in patience like the earth, over his own mind had absolute sway, who was compassionate, kind, sincerely cool, and firm as earth withal. Now homage pay to Sariputta who passed away. Who, like an outcast boy of humble mind, enters the town and slowly wends his way from door to door with begging bowls in hand. Such was this Sariputta. Now homage pay to Sariputta who has passed away. One who in town or jungle, hurting none, living like a bull whose horns are cut away. Such this was this Sariputta who had won mastery of himself. Now homage pay to Sariputta who passed away. When the Blessed One had thus lauded the virtues of the venerable Sariputta, he asked for a stupa to be built for the relics. After that, he indicated to the elder Ananda his wish to go to Rajagaha. Ananda informed the monks and the blessed ones together with a large body of bhikkhus journeyed to Rajagaha. At that time he arrived there, and Venerable Mahamoggallana had also had his final passing away. The blessed one took his relics likewise, and a stupa raised for them. Then he departed from Rajagaha, and going by stages toward the Ganges, he reached Ukasala. There he went to the bank of the Ganges, and seated with his following of monks, he preached the Ukasala Sutta of the Parinavada of Sariputta and Mahamoggallana. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha.